the last thing that I ever want to experience is a poor family life. What is up, my friends, and welcome to the Honey, I'm Home podcast, a podcast to help leaders win from within their own homes so that they can cultivate more love and happiness within their homes and relationships with their significant others, themselves, and their children, of course. My name is TylerJoestratton, and I am the best-selling author of my book, The Big Three, where I have been helping people build joyful and loving relationships with themselves, others, and God for the past 7 years. And today is the day that we finally get to kick off Honey, I'm Home. Now, I've been super excited and thrilled, also a little bit nervous to start this new segment because I come from a place of, well, who am I to speak into your home? And if you're tuning into this, I want to just say thank you so much for giving me the space and the opportunity to speak in your home. I do not take that lightly, and I will do my very best to bring on the experts because I don't believe I am one. I'm here to understand what it will take for me to not live within a poor family home again. Now, ultimately, I can talk about my backstory some other time, but today's all about what is Honey, I'm Home? Who am I? And one actionable thing that you can take away from this today to improve your overall family life. And like I said, my name is Tylerjoestratton. I'm a best-selling author as well as a relationship coach. And my goal for the past 7 years has been to help guide people through devastating relationships, struggling times, to help them overcome the obstacles stopping them from achieving greater levels of happiness and success in their life and relationships. And Honey, I'm Home is a perfect segue to help you to implement into your own home, to teach the leaders within the home on how to lead their own home. Because I really, truly believe that everything stems from within our own minds and within our own homes. And if we have a poor quality home life, most of the time we have a poor quality life in general. You know, this podcast stems from this idea, the reason why I started Honey, I'm Home, and then I'll talk about what it is, and then I'll talk about giving you an actionable piece. Now, why Honey, I'm Home is important to me, and why it should be important to you as well to listen to it. Well, Honey, I'm Home is really about helping you to understand what it's going to take to win within your home so that you too don't experience a poor family life. Growing up, my parents went through a very challenging divorce, and that propelled me to want only the very thing that I couldn't have in my life, which was a rich family, not financially, but in a loving, relationally way, in a manner that allows us to deeply connect to one another, allows us to find one another and enjoy one another's presence within our home. Now, ultimately, the reason why Honey, I'm Home is going to be such an important part of my everyday conversation is really because we're going to be transforming homes one home at a time, one ear at a time, one leader at a time. I feel like, the only thing that I really want to do now that I am happily married to my beautiful wife, Nicole, is to cultivate and generate and build a beautiful and loving relationship with my wife and, future kids. And I know that that's what we all seem to want, but we are unsure how. And ultimately, I'm no expert in this field. I have been married for the past year and a half now, and it's been a beautiful blessing to be happily married. My wife and I have been together for 6+ years, happily married for a year and a half. So I'm still mature in this area of life, but that's why I want to bring on experts or just people that have, been there, done that. They understand the ins and outs of family dynamics and relationships. I believe that relationships are the very thing that dictate the quality of life we live. In my book, The Big Three, I talk about how the quality of life we live directly reflects the relationships that we have with ourselves, others, and God. And if we want to learn how to establish a greater sense of quality of life, a greater sense of happiness and aliveness, joy and fulfillment, we need to cultivate better relationships with ourselves, others, and God. So ultimately, I want to understand now that I am in the thick of it and I'm a married man leading his own home, I want to bring on other individuals who are leading within their own homes. They've been married, they've been divorced, they've been in relationships, and I want to understand what they're currently doing to build and cultivate a great family culture. Because I feel like families are forgetting how to be families. They're forgetting how important it is to sit down at the dinner table, to put your phone away, to set it aside, to disconnect from the television, to reconnect in conversation. We have forgot what it means to be a family. We forgot on what it means to love. We forgot what it means to give effort. And I know this because I've been coaching many individuals as well as couples through relational issues. For the past 6 years now, I've been in that space. For the past 7 years, I've been studying this space of relational dynamic human psychology, as well as personal development and growth. And I'm just grateful and honored to be here with you today as we are going to navigate the murky waters of family life and home life dynamics and bringing in new guests. Every single week, I'm hoping to have someone new on the show. There might be some solo rounds. However, I want to bring other people in and enjoy the conversation with me because this is a conversation that I'm seeking to learn myself. I'm not the expert. I am just the one that wants to seek out the information so that I can improve the quality of my relationship with my wife inside my own home. You know, I sat down with a gentleman about, I think, a week or two ago who said, when I asked him the question, I said, hey, how are men supposed to lead within their homes? Like, what are the things that a man's supposed to do within their own home in order to lead that home? And he came from a very powerful biblical standpoint. And he said, the man is supposed to do 3 things: protect, provide, and love. And I sat back and I thought about that for a moment. And I asked myself, am I protecting my wife? Am I providing for my wife? Am I loving my wife? Not weekly, not monthly, but daily, every single day. And Honey, I'm Home is about equipping you with the proper mindset, heart set, your overall health set, and soul set. And if you don't know what those are, we'll be talking about that as well. But it's going to equip you with the proper internal empires needed for you to progress and push forward, to gain the motivation, perspective, and information needed in order for you to win from within your own home, to lead your family through the difficult times, to lead your family in the great times, to set the standard, to be the example, to be a great leader and lover and server in your home. That's what this is about. I myself want to learn how to do this, and I invite you to be a part of the conversation. So if you know someone that has many years of experience within their own, cultivating a healthy family life, a healthy marriage, I ask you to ask them to tune in. I ask you to ask them to see if they would like to be a part of the conversation as I sit down and interview them to talk about family dynamic relationships and how to overcome the times of struggle, the times of chaos, the times of turmoil. Because it's in the understanding of how to overcome those things that we will feel empowered and motivated to overcome those things. So that's why I want to start this. I want to start this podcast really because I want to be able to help you to understand how to cultivate a beautiful and loving relationship within your own home, to cultivate magical relationships, deeply connected relationships. Because the last thing I ever want to experience is a poor family life. You know, when my parents got their divorce, that wasn't on me, that was on them. But indirectly, or actually more importantly, directly, I was affected by that. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, I was affected by that, and it broke me. And the last thing that I ever really wanted was to experience another broken home. I'm not here to go into a marriage, to go into my home, to break that home, to experience the very thing that I once experienced and don't want to experience again. You know, there was a time many years ago when I was talking to my wife, this is how we kind of started, and I promise you this will make sense, but this is how we started our relationship. I said, I met her, and we were talking for a good month before I asked her out, but I said, if you can be patient with me, I believe we can work this out. However, don't ever expect me to marry you. And she took on that challenge, and she changed my heart. She changed my heart to want to marry her. She gained my trust. She built trust. She built love. She helped me to heal my internal damage that I was facing. And I want other people to experience the love that I beautifully get to share with my own wife, because I believe that you deserve that. I believe that you deserve great love, great connection, great relationships in your life. And oftentimes we don't know how to begin to cultivate those great relationships in our lives. We don't understand what it takes to develop, to cultivate, to build day in and day out those relationships that mean the most to us. And therefore, we're just guessing or blindly going through these relationships. And that's why over 50% of marriages fail, is because ultimately we are not putting in the proper work needed in order to navigate one of the hardest challenges we'll ever face in our human experience, which is the dynamic of a relationship with somebody else. Relationships, in my eyes, are simple, but they're not easy. And that it takes a ton of work. And so for those of you that are out there ready to level up your relationship and level up your home, to understand who you are in your home, what your family values are, how to cultivate a great marriage or a great relationship with yourself and others inside your own home so that you can experience a greater quality of life, Honey, I'm Home is the podcast for you. It is the podcast that's going to change the dynamic of your relationship with yourself and with your significant other and with your kids and your family. Honey, I'm Home is the podcast that's going to help cultivate a harmonious home within your own home and family life. And I'm excited that you're here. Now, that's why I'm doing Honey, I'm Home. Now, what is it going to really be about? Honestly, it's just a transformative podcast that's really here to help you to improve your relationship if you don't know that by now. It's really here to spend some time with you, diving into other conversations with other individuals who are building their family life, building their home life, building their relationships with themselves and with their significant other, and talking through that, understanding how they're doing that, understanding what it takes to win within your own home. And I'm excited you're here. And a part of the Honey, I'm Home series, I'm going to hopefully leave you with one actionable thing that you can take away from each and every single episode. And Honey, I'm Home was inspired by two things. The first thing, like I've already spoke about, is the idea that the last thing that I ever want to experience in my own life is a poor family life. And the second thing that it's cultivated and it's motivated me to push this podcast out there is time and time again as a relationship coach, I sit down with a lot of men and a lot of women, about 50-50 to be honest with you, that are in the ages between 35 and up to 72. I've experienced all sorts of people throughout the spectrum, people that have been in marriages a lot longer than I've been alive. And there's one consistent thing that I hear from both parties that usually cause the relationship to fall apart. And I'm here to remind you, after hundreds of individuals and couples that I've coached, there's one main ingredient that we're forgetting, and that's this. The work does not end after you get home. The work begins once you are home. And let me talk about that for a moment. A lot of us in our lives, especially the provider of the home, the financial provider that is, they go to work. They put in a maximum amount of effort. They're stressing through their day. They're struggling to get through the day. And then they want to come home and they just want to sit down, eat a good meal, kick up their feet, turn on the TV, and disconnect. And I'm here to tell you that it's that very act of inaction that's causing most marriages to fail. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, it's this. When you get home, it's time to give more effort than you did when you were away from home. It's time to double down and to make sure that you're not going home with no gas in your tank. Because the work that you're doing is important, but the reason why you're doing that work is more important. And the reason why you're going to work every day and showing up is for that family within that home. And I need you not to forget that. I need you to remember that the real work begins once you step your foot through the door. It's not time to give up. It's not time to back down. It's not time to, just kick your feet up and to relax. No, it's time to be intentional. It's time to live from your heart, live openly, love openly, and to make a difference in your own home. By the way that you show up daily for your kids, for your spouse, for yourself, it's time to remember the reason why you go to work is for the people within your home. So I don't believe that once you're home, it's time to take a break. It's time to set the intention to be a heart-driven leader within your home and to not forget that you are called to protect, to provide, and to love that very individual or those multiple individuals inside your home. And Honey, I'm Home is here to tell you that you are more than capable. You're one more energy drink away from being able to tune up your energy levels, to set the intention, to be a great husband, to be a great wife, to be a great lover, to be a great leader, to be a great server within your own home. Today's actionable takeaway is this: to remember to not go home with no gas in your heart. If you can walk away with that understanding that your purpose begins the moment you walk in your home, I promise you, your relational dynamic within your own home will change, and it will change for the better. So as I come to close this first episode up of Honey, I'm Home, I want to make sure that you understand that relationships are everything. Those that are in your home are the reason why you are doing what you're doing. In the time to give up is not the moment you step in the door. The time to show up is the moment you step into the door. Continue to put your best foot forward. Continue to be very intentional about who you are the moment you walk in your home. They need you as the best version of yourself to make it through each and every single day. The work isn't done the moment you clock out of work. It begins the moment you step in your home. And if you want to improve your leadership ability, your overall quality in your relationships, in your home dynamics, Honey, I'm Home is for you. My dear friend, my name is Tylerjoestratton. I'm the best-selling author of my book, The Big Three, the founder of the Happy Heart Academy, and the host of the Honey, I'm Home series. I'm so grateful that you are here. And if you liked this episode, be sure to do me a favor, like it, share it, comment, let me know that you're here and that you're listening and that you're excited about this new series. Because what this is about is connecting directly to you. And I have to get a little bit uncomfortable being behind camera, looking at this camera one-on-one and speaking into your mind, into your heart, and into your home. So I'd love to know if you're here. So be sure to comment, share, like, and subscribe to wherever you're listening to this new podcast at, because I'm thrilled and honored and so thankful and grateful that you're here with me. And I'm excited to talk to you again about ways in which you can improve and cultivate a happier home.